And we are live. Good evening, Crypto Warriors. Welcome back to Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 431. Today is Monday, July 15th, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we're here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 3-ish. And it's time.
It is time. Today's stories we'll be covering the U.S. Treasury Secretary's concerns on crypto, the UK Royal Mint to provide custody for new cryptocurrency, a new House bill which would fine Facebook's Libra $1 million per day. Tether mistakenly mints, then immediately burns $5 billion worth of USDT. And the Cleveland Cavaliers partnering with crypto firm Litecoin. But first, do we have a free cryptic coin winner of the day? And what are we doing about the prices today? What's going on there?
Oh, yeah. First, so the cryptic coin winner from yesterday is Achilles16. Shout out to Achilles16. Actually, we got to give him a hand clap. He
got the closest. No, I think he got the closest. I saw the right
He got close, yeah. 127.
Maybe it was somebody else I saw.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, that may have been somebody else, but he found it was episode 127. Found the actual quote about Trump, and we've been talking about Trump tweeting about Bitcoin for a while. So shout out to Achilles16. We'll be sending that free crypto coin your way, my brother.
Thank you, Achilles. 125, you said?
127.
127. I had to check a bit. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So shout out to him. And as far as price goes, Bitcoin today at $10,789, up 2%. Ripple at 31 cents, still suffering. Flat today. Ethereum is at $228, down 3%. Bcash at $315 is up 1.8%. EOS at $4.31, up 2%. And Litecoin still suffering, down to $91. Is flat today as well. So we've seen a mix of green and red. With Munchkin talking in front of the Senate, which we'll discuss more. People thought the price would suffer, but Bitcoin keeps going, doesn't stop.
But Ripple, talk about a discount this year. It is.
Man.
As you can see, we talked about Ripple the other day. I mean, this drop is continuously happening. But hey, you mean literally not even was a week, 2 weeks ago, it was at. You can see here almost at 50 cents. Right now it's less than 31. So if you believe in the Ripple project, people, now is a time to jump in. It's getting close to its lowest of the year. As you can see, the yearly low is 24 cents.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, again, it's hovering at around 31 cents. But it looked like a touchdown as well. I mean,
whole new class of holders.
Hilarious.
They're going to be holding for a long time.
It's red everywhere. It is literally red everywhere. But all right, we'll see what happens. It's crazy. I saw John McAfee tweet, basically telling people to calm down. Bitcoin being in the 10,000s isn't that bad. So for those who have been on this ride for a while, you're about to see a whole new, like I said, a whole new class of holders come in and start complaining. 11,000, what is this nonsense? It was 13K last week. All right, top story of the day. First, of course, say some shout outs. What's going on? Allison Thompson, Jizzy Matt, Cryptic Coin, Tony Nolly, Tessa Hall, Jamal J, Tonio, Fred Kamen. Jesus Mac that said that's at 80% dominance coming, folks. That is right.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Hello, Sergeant Crypto. What's up? Top story today, U.S. Treasury Secretary shares Trump concerns on crypto and stresses compliance. That's right. United States Treasury Secretary Stephen Munchkin shares President Donald Trump. Of course he would. I mean, what top position of any government office is going to outright deny this man and his tweets when it comes to crypto? But it looks like Treasury Secretary Munchkin also agrees with the use on cryptocurrency to finance illicit activity and stresses the role of enforcing FinCEN, again, regulations with respect to crypto dealing organizations. All right, two things we haven't heard in a long time, and that's cryptocurrency for illicit activities. We haven't heard that for a while because it's already been disproven, as well as the name FinCEN. You guys are back in the mix, huh? I thought FINRA, SEC, and the CFTC were taking up all the time. It looks like the FinCEN is back in the news again. But what's Munchkin's wrong, inaccurate take on this?
Yeah. Well, the good part about his take was it was mostly about Libra, and it wasn't really focused on Bitcoin. It was mentioned because, like we said before, Trump tweeted about it. It's been pretty much legitimized by institutions, by everybody having a crypto desk. And Steve Munchkin he just reiterated that it is bad that he said that it is indeed a national security issue. What do we say, people?
Took a whole week. Huh?
That is the exact language we said was going to come
set
out.
Them up. Trump gonna set them up with the whole bad news bears.
Bad news.
Everybody else is gonna set them up. All right. Well, it looks like terrorist activity. I ever saw one. All right.
Oh yeah, and then they start pulling in these words such as money laundering, terrorists, financiers, and they're saying this as a way to say, hey, we need to protect you from the bad guys. When in reality, they are on that side as well, and they've enlisted the Financial Action Task Force, FinCEN, BSA. I mean, they've enacted pretty much every government agency.
Hootie hoo. What's the song? What's the call now? I don't know the call. I don't keep up with the kids these days.
That's what I'm saying. Let's slide on.
What's the bird call these days? Right.
I was saying they're about to slide on Libra.
Hilarious.
That's what it looks like.
Everybody.
And I hate the fact that, Munchkin, they get such a big platform without any real knowledge about either one. How much do you think he really knows about both? I mean, Libra hasn't even been created, and Bitcoin, people are still trying to figure it out. So he doesn't really know much, but his word makes some people uneasy. However, Bitcoin is still up 4% on the day. So as far as them talking about in the Senate, it was mostly Libra. It's probably like 90% Libra. But Bitcoin was mentioned because it is real. It is a speculative store of value, as they called it. And even though we don't agree with his take on it. I mean, what do you expect, man?
Yeah, mentioning his take, he's saying, of course, the cryptos such as Bitcoin has been exploited to support billions of dollars of illicit activity like cybercrime, tax evasion, extortion, randomware, which I'm assuming is ransomware, illicit drugs, human trafficking. This is indeed a national security issue. So, first of all, again, this has already been disproven by many organizations saying that it's less than 1% of all crypto being used in anything illicit. But let's just play their game. Let's say that this billions of dollars of illicit activity is true. How much has the U.S. dollar been used? I mean, it's literally that simple of a question.
Can't even count it.
If crypto has been around for 10 years, has $1 billion plus,
which is nothing.
Exactly, with $1 billion plus whatever list for crime and criminals, how much has the U.S. dollar seen in the last 10 years? So again, we're talking about literally no comparison. So for them to say that's crazy. But even crazier, this guy sounds like JP the Dino Diamond, who eventually came around from JP Morgan. He's also quoted as saying, this is Munchkin again, Treasury Secretary of the United States, is being quoted as saying, I think to a large extent, these cryptocurrencies have been dominated by illicit activities and speculations. Keywords, I think. How can you be the Treasury Secretary of the United States and stand in front of people saying, well, I think this is what's going on?
Guessing.
And make your decisions off of your I think. Again,
imagine doing a presentation telling people I think.
Don't get me wrong, people. This is all for the show. The jig is up. The fix is already in. We know that. So of course they're just saying things like this, to play their part, and so the sheep can see them in public. But this is literally crazy. I mean, this is the Treasury Secretary saying, I think this is what's going on, and when it comes to financial stuff.
Maybe.
But I'm positive they're using it for bad things.
Yeah.
All in the same breath, not saying anything about a banker. So again, this is absolute madness. Again, FinCEN is in on the jig now too. They're like, hold on. We heard there was a robbery. We weren't invited. We take that very personally, so they're in on it now.
Yeah.
And hey, it continues to go. This is absolute madness, as I said. This is the U.S. Treasury Secretary, people.
Yeah, it's basically like when Dame Dash and Benny Siegel ran into each other on state property, and they were like, "Well, honor amongst thieves."
Right, there we go.
We take the bottom.
Just cut it up. Oh my goodness. Jamal J. spent the whole last week in and out of Goldman, New York Stock Exchange, CME, Guggenheim Partners, Sandler O'Neill, NASDAQ, meeting execs and CEOs on a diversity mission. Nice.
Yep, nice.
Yep. Jizzy Max said they're just standing up there pretending to have some kind of authority over Bitcoin. Listen.
It's hilarious to watch.
To the average person, they believe it. Therefore, listen, you get a bunch of hall monitors and you put guns in their hand, they do have authority over it, right? That looks like what's happening right here. But speaking of the Treasury Secretary and everything that's going on in the U.S., we're actually going to jump ahead. We're going back to that U.K. Royal Mint story. Let's actually talk about what is going on here in the U.S. with this new House bill. It looks like there is a new U.S. House bill which would fine Facebook's Libra $1 million per day.
Wow.
That is right. And the crazy part about that fine is that basic economics with the market share that Mark Zuckerberg has shows you that even this would be so what? He could pay it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if they're making $1 billion a year?
Let's go ahead and pay this 5 years ahead. How about this? Like, it's literally from his personal account. Yeah. Like, can we not do math anymore? What's going on here? Yeah. But it looks like a proposed bill to fine major tech firms such as Facebook is $1 million per day if they issue any cryptocurrencies is being circulated by the Democrats. Reuters reported on July 15. Reuters cited a copy of the draft legislation reported by Cointelegraph when it first surfaced online last week and notes that proposes to impose a $1 million fine daily upon any firm that violates the proposed rules. What are those proposed rules that literally came up out of the blue overnight in regards to cryptocurrency?
And who was in that meeting and who, put this?
Well, it's Democrats. I know Auntie Maxine is there, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. And they reported that in the actual bill, it stated a large platform may not establish, maintain, or operate a digital asset that is intended to be widely used as a medium of exchange, unit of account, store of value, which is the definition of money, or any other similar function as defined by the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System.
Wow, they are scared straight.
Yeah, and I think what people don't realize about this is, we mentioned earlier, Facebook could just pay this fine and go about it, but what if they apply this to every crypto exchange or every single type of exchange where crypto is involved? Most of them can't pay it, so they would have to shut down. They would have to shut their doors. However, I believe companies like Facebook, they're not going anywhere. And the act is called Keep Big Tech Out of Finance Act.
Why would you want to keep big tech out of finance? It actually makes more sense to keep big tech into finance. That's transparency.
This is what I'm trying to figure out.
That literally makes no sense.
How many of them use PayPal? How many of them use Cash App?
Wow.
How many of them use Stripe?
How many use digital banking? Period. Because that's technology in banking, digital banking.
It was all good, so they didn't want to use your currency anymore. Right. And as you can see, they're showing they're basically showing you their hand right now, and it's bad. It's not getting as much media attention. A lot of people should be talking about
should be on the
right
front
now
page.
More than they were December 2017. Everybody was hyped in. Forget that. This is crazy right here. I mean, the head of the U.S. Fed, the Democrats, they're literally writing bills. Now, it's not a law, not yet, but if they are proposing it, you can see where their head is at. And this is shaking up a lot of people because it's Democrats, Republicans. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on right now. You should be terrified that this is what your politicians they spend their time on, trying to shut down innovation and to make your life harder just to keep theirs easy. So yeah, stop listening to them, please.
Well, what's even crazier is that the Democrats are actually leading this, and of course it says here, Reuters and nonetheless anticipates that pro-innovation Republicans will put their muscle behind blocking such a move. I highly doubt that. I think they're both gonna get on the same sizes. But people, these are your love. I'm impartial regardless because they're all government. But there's so many people. We know there's so many people watch this channel too are just so pro-Democrat. It's like, this is what we're trying to tell you. Like, you can't trust them either. All right, we know it's crazy that you only can select two people out of this entire country to be your president, but neither one of them usually has your best interests at heart. But what's even crazier is this whole Keep Big Tech Out of Finance Act and this definition they're using for anybody with digital assets is being defined by the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System.
Dirty man.
So a private company's private Board of Governors is telling the entire country what's going to be allowed as currency and who's allowed to keep it.
Love that freedom. That's
absolute madness,
crazy,
people. Man. There's no other way to say it. We're not gonna get excited about it because it is what it is, right? And nobody's gonna do anything.
Coming. It's not
nobody's gonna do anything. But it is a private board of a private company telling other private companies actually that you all can't have this money, only us. And it's being backed by the United States government, this private company and this private board of governors. So again, crazy, but the audacity for them to do, as Jizzy Mac said, like literally the audacity of them just to stand up and act as though they can actually do it's crazy.
If Facebook has a Facebook Army sign up at some point when they start their crypto exchange, and then all of a sudden they're like, we can pay you more. I'm gonna see how big their talk is because that's really all they got at this point. It's just a lot of conjecture and yelling. But
my thing is like, where does it end at? I don't care if it was $50 a day.
Yeah.
Where does it end, people? Like, they literally made this out the blue one morning. And let's say that $1 million a day does get passed for big tech companies. Who does that money go to?
Yeah.
Like, all right,
government that's helping.
We'll give you the $1 million a day if you can put everything on blockchain and trace it via crypto. Like, come on. This is getting ridiculous. It is truly getting ridiculous. But it is what it is. Look at some of these comments. What's going on, Mr. Gibson Sr.?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. S1 Dub said, ultimately, it won't matter if they make it illegal. The genie is out the bottle. Exactly. What's going on? B. Well said, do you think they'll make it illegal like in India? Yeah, exactly. Genie's out the bottle.
India price.
Again, here's the worst part with this whole, is it legal? Is it illegal? All these Ned Flanders out there with the diddly game. There's so many things that it used to be illegal for women to vote. Do you ladies not want to do that again?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, some people probably don't at this point, male and female. But I mean, there's so many things in history that have been. Alcohol was illegal. Weed was illegal till literally 3 weeks ago in some states. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
now you got 13-year-old entrepreneurs selling weed and CBD oil.
You're grown men and women. I think it's about time that us, civilians, private citizens of these countries decide what's illegal and legal, and not just to get scared from some shadow government. But
yeah, man,
whatever. This is getting crazy. Yeah. Jason M said, I can't stand Trump, but his comment on Libra was true. Facebook, you are not a bank. So, I mean, fine. Then they don't have to be a bank. Let's call them something different. But why does banks have to be the only monopoly in town when it comes to holding all the money? I don't get that.
There's going to be a lot of new terms that pop up over the next decade. I mean? Stuff we haven't even seen before. Right. I mean, it's no name for it yet, but they're coming. I mean, it's inevitable, man. S1 Dub said they can't even get the language right because when you look up the legal definitions of the terms, it encompasses banks and all types of financial institutions. They're talking about themselves.
Of course. I mean, listen, this is the part that frustrates me about the American government. Like, stop jumping through the loops. I just want somebody to come out and be like, look, this is what it is. We got a bunch of guns. It's a bunch of corrupt people that actually voted for or run for us, paid for our elections, and this is what it's going to be. You're going to abide by this, or we're going to throw you in jail, kill you. Yeah. That would actually make me want to abide by the rules more than this fake. We're trying to do this for you because it's national security. When in reality, it's like, well, no, it's not national security. So
dirty macking.
Right, it's crazy.
Been doing it for years.
Wire Spark said more like keep transparency out of my scheme. Of course. Yep. So S1 Does said way too late to try and regulate this. Threatening is not going to work because the technologists can move much faster than governments. So here's the thing. I think on a wide scale, the threats won't work, but it kind of will work in the short term because people are already listening to this. I mean, people will listen to this type of stuff, this rhetoric, and instead of thinking for themselves, they're going to say our government told us this. Yeah. And then we're all going to be looking like a bunch of Nazis one day saying, well, these are the orders we were given, right? Yeah. Because who wants to think for themselves?
Look at how they handle it different, though. Regulators versus technologists.
Right.
People working on Libra, what do you think they're doing right now? Still working on Libra. What are the regulation people up there doing? Talking for an hour and a half. They're talking. They have different ways of going about it. So we already know who's going to win in the end.
But the important thing to hone in on is why do they want to keep big tech out? And I'm assuming it's because of schemes like this what the UK has up their sleeve. The UK Royal Mint, again, the same Royal Mint that we found out had fake gold in its possession a couple years ago. But the UK Royal Mint to provide custody for a new cryptocurrency. That is right. The Royal Mint, a government-owned manufacturer of coins in the United Kingdom, will provide crypto custodial services for the first time ever, according to a press release shared with Cointelegraph. So I'm just thinking if I was a big government institution, I definitely wouldn't want tech to have some type of custodial service or bank when we could just do it ourselves. What's going on here?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, this is probably the test ground for other companies that will do it.
For sure.
It is a trash new cryptocurrency called TimTum, ticker symbol TEM. That is such a corny name. Like, who are these people? It is coming from an 1,100-year-old financial institution, so you can only imagine. But the Royal Mint is supposedly going to store your private keys for you in the currency reserve, and it'll be stored in that vault forever. So
they still don't know how this thing works. Huh?
Yeah, so I mean, you have the ability to put it in there and hopefully withdraw it at some point. Good luck. I would not trust my private keys with the Royal Mint at all.
They technically want to be like. Yeah. Do they understand how this works? Like, so I'm just trying to figure out. The original keys don't matter if somebody goes in and withdraw from it.
Yeah. And if they have the private keys in there and they take it, I mean,
they don't understand how it works. All right,
yeah, we got it all.
We got it, Royal Mint.
Yeah. So this is basically a gold-backed coin, Royal Mint gold, which
haven't heard
turned into TimTum. Heard that a million times before. And of course,
I'm about to cry.
The SEC and FINRA have already released statements on crypto custodial service. So they okayed it. So now we have the UK Royal Mint. Yeah, I mean, this is another scheme. This is just a dressed up. I mean, just another dressed up multi-level. I don't even know what you describe this because custody for your cryptocurrency isn't necessary unless you buy their cryptocurrency. And who wants it? I don't know why you would get it if it's backed by gold. Just get the gold. But Tim Tom, that's what it's called. And this looks to be the next wave. Tell crypto companies you can't do it, but we can. That's going to be the next wave, it looks like.
Jizzy Max said, didn't they just refuse to give Venezuela billions in gold reserves? Yes, but that was a part of the gang ties. The U.S. was like, hey, we're sanctioning them. We're not cool with them. You're not cool with them. And, of course, they're like, we're not cool with them. Yeah. So there that is. Yeah. All right. Speaking of other craziness, I guess that's just popping up and going away. Tether mistakenly mints, then immediately burns $5 billion of USDT. That is right. They mistakenly mint, then immediately burn $5 billion of USDT. Stablecoin operator Tether, for the third time, accidentally minted and subsequently burned $5 billion of USDT tokens. Well Alert tweeted on July 13th. Well Alert is a Twitter account dedicated to reporting large crypto transactions. We've talked about them before. They're on Telegraph as well. Noted that 50 million USDT tokens were transferred from crypto exchange Poloniex, of course, to the Tether Treasury via the Omni protocol. Haven't heard of them in a while, on the Bitcoin blockchain. The account subsequently reported that Tether Treasury minted 5 billion tokens on the Tron blockchain, after which it burned them. What is going on here? And this is why I don't trust in this, not just necessarily Tether, but a lot of these stable coins. How did this work? How do you get up to $5 billion by mistake?
Well, you do it by not putting in the correct decimals. That is exactly what they stated here, was saying that on the move to the Tron blockchain, mistake was made with the decimals. And Poloniex actually said in a tweet, Paolo is correct. This occurred while Poloniex was conducting a USDT chain swap with the help of Tether. An incorrect amount was accidentally minted and has been resolved. So the one good thing about this is if they mint a lot of money, or if they mint a certain amount of money and send it out, if it's a mistake, they can just reverse it instantly. That is a lot more efficient than banks. If they minted $5 billion and pushed it into the account, you can't just burn it, at the stake. So, that's one of the good things about this technology. That's why they focus on the technology. If you just think about the technology of what they've just done, they've just showed you that no bank should make a mistake from here on out. Technically, if they were able to issue it. However, when they did it, it is kind of goofy to see that you didn't put in decimal points. So that does need to get cleared up. Copy and paste. People like, how do you type 2 extra decimal points? So that is Poloniex. They are kind of a goofy exchange anyway. So
a goofy exchange with a goofy, what's the thing called? Stable coin.
Yeah, with a stable
coin. 2 goofies together. That's what happens. $5 billion mistakes happen.
Yeah, $5 billion accidentally minted, and just. Omni was in on it, who we haven't heard from in a while.
I haven't heard them in a long time.
Haven't heard from it in a little minute. But it is solved now. It's fixed. This is what the speed of blockchain and Bitcoin, it happened so fast and went back. That's one of the best parts about the industry. But
no, piggyback on that, want to highlight it, you're right. That is one of the that's technology, people. You remember, we don't know where this, I think the defense budget now is like at 723 million or something, or billion or something crazy, but we don't know where this money went. We don't know what happened with this. All right, let's literally just go online then and see what date this transaction happened and where that money went to. We can trace it. And again, this is where this vigorous fight from the government's coming from. It's not because tech companies are going to take over. It's because everything they're doing is going to be out in the open now. And I literally can't. I just want to go to sleep for the next however long it's going to take. It's going to be 3 years, 6 years. I don't know.
Could you imagine?
I just want to go to sleep and wake up when we're finally in a tech-driven, innovative, forward-thinking environment as we should be. It's crazy.
Imagine that, man.
Imagine that. Literally, it's like we have these T83 calculators, the ones back in the day. We got these upgraded calculators, and you got some teacher trying to get you to do, very difficult arithmetic by paper. They put your parentheses in here, do this. No, just give me the calculator.
Exactly.
Someone's going to type this in. All right, last but not least, ending on a great note as always. I can't say the word at all. Cleveland Cavaliers, who cares? It's Cleveland, right? Just kidding, people. I'm from the Midwest too. Partnered with cryptocurrency firm United Coin. What's going on with this story?
Oh yeah, well, the partnership will advertise United Coin and provide the Cavs with an inroad into the fintech sector via cryptocurrency. So there'll be LED signage inside of the stadium, so you'll see United Coin. You'll get people asking about it, inquiring. It is its official cryptocurrency partner. And it'll be on 2K. If you play, play with the Cavs on 2K, I don't know why you would do that to yourself.
Hilarious.
You must want to lose. But if you play, you'll be able to see it in their in-game court and arena. So in real life and in the digital world, you can see United Coin. This comes after Litecoin, which is called the official cryptocurrency of Miami Dolphins. And we told you this is going to be a regular occurrence. Teams do not make decisions like this and then look over and say, hey, no, I'm not going to do the same thing. They copy it. They do the exact same stuff. So Cleveland Cavaliers and United Coin, they'll be together. United Coin, you can read their white paper. But they believe it solves some problems with traditional blockchain, speeds up transactions, things of that nature. So shout out to them. I mean, NBA, NFL getting in on the cryptocurrency game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if every team out there is sponsored or backed by some coin. I mean, we saw, just thinking about companies, we saw this past season NBA playoffs when the LA Clippers were being sponsored by Bumble, the dating app. We were like, wait, Bumble? Of course, they probably got the deal early on, and Clippers made the playoffs. It's like, oh, now you got Bumble in the playoffs, right? Going against the Warriors, a good TV time. But I can see that happening with, it's going to get to the point, how we do blockchain stimulus package. It's going to be like, oh, you're a coin and you don't have an NBA or NFL team under you. You can't be serious type of thing. We're going to go through that whole explosion of things, watch, where it's just like stupid, dumb money. We're buying up teams, we're sponsoring teams per coin. I mean, and again, we were just talking about using the Tron chain or whatever. I can see someone like Tron having a team. Houston Rockets, right?
Yeah.
If you get the joke, you get it.
Hey, man, I can't wait for the Libra Lakers. When we,
all that good stuff. All that good stuff.
We get the Libra Lakers.
The Libra Lakers.
Oh, wow. Man, I would not be surprised.
It is over. All right, last couple of comments before we get that question for the crypto coin. Let's see. Game of Thrones says stable coins equal we will print as many as we want and don't care if it inflates your savings. Oh, and that's the USD. Exactly. We saw it was another coin that kind of did. It started with a P. I can't think of it. But
Paxos?
Paxos. When they did the overnight 20 or 10 million print off, we was like,
accident? Yeah, or just
they did it intentionally.
No, they did it intentionally. As soon as the price started rising, all of a sudden they mint it.
Yeah, we was like, how you just gonna mint coins overnight? It's not the way this is supposed to work. So we'll see. Jamal J said this IT guy in clearance at CME was speaking authoritatively to a group about crypto. And when he was done, I asked him about the smart contracts, and he had no idea what they are. Listen, this is just
a lot of people are real passionate, but as far as actually knowing about the industry, hey,
it's just act like you know it.
Act like you know.
All right. Other than that, for the free crypto coin, what are we doing today?
Oh yeah. So for the free crypto coin, we have a U.S. House bill that's on the floor now that is trying to fine tech companies $1 million a day for every day that they operate outside of their rules. Do you agree with this? Do you hate Facebook so much you hope this happens? Do you hate the government so much you hope it doesn't happen? What do you think will happen with the bill? Will it pass?
And what can we do about it?
And what can we do about it? Let us know what you think. Put your crypto coin address, and we'll send those free coins to you.
Listen, all I am saying is that if this was the year, was it 1775, and there was a country telling the U.S., hey, you guys owe us money for taxes, and you're going to do things our way.
Tea Party.
Just all I'm saying is there would have been some guns involved, right? Yeah. Like just straight up, this is madness right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But other than that, I mean, hey, have a happy Monday. Let's see what goes on with this story. It looks like this is going to be. I mean, you're talking about the biggest news possibly of the year that's not even being covered on mainstream media. If Facebook launches Libra and it takes over, wow. Imagine someone saying, "Hey, I can cash app you $100." $100. Better send me them 4 or 5 Libras, bro. I'm not out here. Don't try to give me that cash. Nobody use that over here. Like, come on. But seriously, I mean, that would literally change the future of the planet. So remember, everything's backed by the U.S. dollar, right? Until a big tech company comes around, like, how about you just back by mine? So, we'll see what happens. Other than that, have a great Monday, folks, and we will see you all tomorrow. Cheers.
Cheers.